Hey there, everybody! Welcome to the Zero G class. We're just checking in a little bit early to see if everybody's there, and we're excited. Hey, okay, so we're at the Zero G class. I'm Michelle. I'm out of Chicago suburbs, Brandon Ware Gowie Entertainment. And I am here today to talk about the Zero G, and I'm going to try to cover everything. You know, it's a very simplistic system, so we should be able to get it all in today. Don't hesitate to ask questions. There will be a couple spots where I'll stop and ask about questions. I want to thank ProAiir, and I want to thank Donna and Erica for this opportunity. I feel very honored to be amongst the industry greats that are sharing in all the classes. It's very exciting. So there are two generations of Zero Gs. The first generation, if you ever have the opportunity, make sure you get the second generation. The first generation tends to leak a lot more. I had three sets of them. I sold them all off many years ago, and I have now 6 sets of Zero Gs, meaning I have over 50 cartridges and 6 guns. Yes, I love it that much because it makes me a lot of money at festivals. Well, hopefully festivals next year will kick in again. But this is a simple system. Some of the differences between the Zero G and the traditional system. One of the biggest differences is this right here. It's one hose. Traditional system, you're going to have anywhere from 6 to 20 guns because of colors. I have 11 colors here, and all it's changing color is just as easy as that. A lot of my festivals, I will do hybrid up on top, inks on the bottom for tattoos. So hybrids for faces, I'm painting, and then I'll go just down here, switch over to my ink for tattoos. It's just that easy to go back and forth. I know with the traditional system, you're going to have a lot more guns, a lot more hoses. So for festivals, this has been huge for me. So I just wanted to show that. My husband is the cameraman today, so he's helping me out. I'm going to close this off. Okay, so here's the CO2 tank and the compressor. Warren, I might need your help on the answers to this one. We have one hose. Right now I'm connected to the CO2 tank. What's the size of this one, Warren?
That's an 1/8 inch fitting.
1/8 inch fitting that goes on the bottom of the Zero G gun. Now I put these plumber's tape on it. That's to seal it and keep it from leaking. And you want to put that, you want to change that every time you're going to do a gig. So it screws on your CO2 tank. It also screws right onto the compressor. I usually do between 12 and 15 PSI for faces and tattoos. If I'm doing just tattoos, anything from the neck down is pretty much what I call tattoos. I'll sometimes go up to 18. Let's talk about the gun. Here's our gun. I'm going to turn this on a little so I have air. Okay, so this little black thing back here sometimes comes unscrewed, sometimes comes loosened. I'm going to be real honest with you, I have no clue what it's for. I think it helps keep this thing in here in place. But in all the 9 years that I've used the Zero G, all I do is make sure that that's tight. Sometimes things aren't working, the air is not working. One of the troubleshooting things you want to do is make sure that this is tight. Sometimes too, for some reasons, this tip here that screws off right here, that will come out, so it'll loosen. And you're like, why is my having so much? Why is it splattering? Why is it not lined up? Why is this not working? Make sure that this is screwed on tight. So that's another spot to troubleshoot. Sometimes straight up, this thing right here your cartridge holder, it's out of alignment. If it's out of alignment, you're screwed, okay? Always, always, always have a backup gun on a job, because if this gun is out of alignment, you just drop it accidentally on the ground, and I've done this, dropped it, it's not like you can just manipulate it with your hands.
Special screwdriver.
Warren can fix it. I just bring it home and give it to my husband, and he makes it all better. We've also sent it back to the manufacturer sometimes. But literally on the job, please, please, please have 2 guns, because if you drop it and this is out of alignment, SOL, and you know, it's not going to be a fun day for you. So really, that's how easy this gun is. You just pick it up, push it down. Oh, let me do this one because I know this one. Okay, this is a huge, huge thing to know about your, you have to make sure your cartridge is seated correctly. And can you see this one? We're going nice and close. You see this little line right here? Your cartridge is not seated in the gun. See how I push it down? And now that little space is gone, it's seated. I'll show you. If I, okay, so right now it's not seated. Watch. I'm going to open it up. Nothing's coming out. Nothing's happening. No control. I'm opening it up and I'm opening it up. I have no control. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to push it down, make sure it's seated. It's in there. Now we're going to open it up. Now we've got makeup coming out, we've got control. Now, watch, I'm going to close this up. Now you see that little bead of paint there at the end of the tip? Make sure I always, when I close it, I always make a habit of just doing a quick push of the nozzle so that that goes away, because I'm going to make it happen again now. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do, now we got one here. Now if you put it back like that, it's going to dry. And then the next time you go to do it, use it, there's nothing going to come out because the tip is dry. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll wipe it on my hand and that'll just wipe off the tip. So sometimes when you're working quickly and you forget to pop that little thing there, I'll wipe it on my hand. Now, granted, I used to never wear gloves because I hate gloves. In this day and age, I know I'm going to have to start getting used to wearing gloves. So today we're just for the purpose of demonstration. I'm not going to wear them because I don't want to. But moving forward, yes, I strongly suggest that you're going to be wearing gloves. And most people do already. I don't mind getting messy. But anyway, this is something that you just want to know, that that tip will dry with that little ball of paint. Wipe it on your thing, have a towel in your lap, wipe it off there. Question?
Dale Civiter is curious to see a demo, interested to see if you can do a fine line as a traditional air gun with fine tip.
We're going to do a StencilEyes demo toward the end of the thing, so absolutely. As far as doing the benefits versus the traditional system and the 0G, you probably don't have as much control with the 0G as you do with the traditional system. So just like anything, if you practice, 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 you're going to get really good at it. So I do a lot of stencil work because I do a lot of festivals. So for the 0G, it's been great. I think the closer you get those fine lines and the farther away, but I'm not set up to show you that right now. Oh, I don't know if I could do it right now or not. Let's see. Let's see. There's a fine line right there, and I guess when you're farther away, there's a, so just with practice, 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 just like anything.
The other way.
Can you see the difference? Is that helpful, Dale? I hope. Okay.
There's another couple questions here.
Okay, what other questions do we have?
I want to know about cleaning.
Ah, we're going to do that next. That's coming up.
And also a quick release. Is there, can you do quick release?
Right here.
On the gun, if you can.
Yes, you can do a quick release. And also, I knew I'd do that. I brought something and then I don't know where it is now. I also usually use a moisture trap down here. I'll put it down here. You can use a quick release, but what do you need it for? You're not changing anything. You can. My quick release is on my compressor to my Sabaha. Yeah, you can use a quick release, but I don't know what you need it for because you're not changing anything. Any other questions?
Let's see. Single action?
It is single action gun. On, off. Okay, so let's go over that real quick. This is how I hold the gun. My husband holds it differently. So you got to do what works best for you. I hold the gun here like this, so I can do this with the, and I can control the flow with these two fingers, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Okay, so I'm gonna push it down the air, turn it to the left till the makeup comes out. And however you're going to do, whatever you need it for, and then turn it off by closing it and then releasing the air. If I were to open it up and then take the nozzle off, you're going to start dripping. So you want to close it first and then lift your finger off. Does that make sense? That help? Okay. So do you want me to actually clean a cartridge?
I have a question. Can you oil the ring, it says?
So are we going to actually clean a cartridge? Is that what you guys want to see?
I don't see any new questions coming up.
Okay.
Oil ring.
So
There is some oil that you can put on the back part of the cartridge where that black piece is in the back. You can put oil there.
okay.
But that's the only place you have to put oil.
Okay. I don't know about that. 9 years that I've been doing this, I've never done that. You learn something new every day. Okay, so here's a cartridge we just took off the tip. Okay? So now, 3 things that I personally use to clean the cartridges. I use a toothpick. I use these little brushes. You can get them for like $2 at Harbor Freight. And this little wire. This little wire, and my husband gets all the credit for this, is a guitar string. So there is number 12 guitar string that we have cut up. It costs you $1 for this. You can cut up, they're about 3 inches long. Can you see it?
Kinda.
It's 3 inches long, and I put a little red ribbon on it so I don't lose it. So, because you can see that, especially when you're working quickly, where'd that blasted wire go? Okay? So, a lot of times what I'm going to take 91% alcohol, squirt it, whoops, open it up first. Okay, squirt it in there. Oh, I just got it all over my pants. Okay, so you can see it running. How do I do this so you guys can see this? I'm dropping everything. Okay, I usually do this against my finger so it runs off. Sometimes, like our infamous white that we all love, guys, white pigment is white pigment. It's gonna clog up. Everybody's like, what do I do? What do I do? It's white pigment. It's a heavy pigment. So a lot of times what I'm gonna do is there's a pigment, sometimes like the light blue, the white, some of the pastel colors because they've got a lot of white content in it, it's a heavier pigment. When you haven't used the 0G in a while, it's going to settle in the cartridge. So I'll push it through after I've squirted it, and you can see it pushing out. You can see it pushing out the tip. So that kind of helps push it through. I'll flush it again with the alcohol. And
Hi, Pina from Canada. How are you?
Oh, cool. Hi, guys. Thank you. Okay, and then I'll take the thinnest brush, and I'm going to push it through, and all that, well, that one apparently isn't the thinnest one. It's going to scrape the sides of the wall and really clear out that cartridge. I hate doing this thing, so I'm not going to do it right now because it's just for the sake of time. But you guys are going to flush that thing. Then I'll take a paper towel and wipe it out. And I'm going to wipe it out really good, okay? I'm going to take that wire that I had somewhere. I put that wire, and there it is. I'm going to flip it, push it through this end right here, right there, on both sides.
Make sure they can see the holes. There you go. There's holes in the...
Can you see that, guys? We're going from this end, and then you're going to flush it again. Okay? Okay, so that one's wiped out pretty good. Now, we're going to flush this. Flush it. Okay, now you can see it's pulling up in here. That means this is blocked. So I'll usually will put my finger over, turn it to the side, take that guitar string, and push it from this side, because if anything's stuck in there and dried, it'll push out the other direction. And you have to have good eyes for this, because I got old lady eyes. And what a time, I just blow on it, and if the alcohol blows through, then we're good to go. So that's how everything I'm doing today is what we do, guys. There's 10 ways of doing anything. So this is what works for us. All right, so if you have different ideas, let us know. Somebody had asked me about olive oil. Okay, so when we take this tip off, there is a little tiny itty bitty black O-ring right here, okay? Can you see that?
It's hard to see it.
It's very hard to see because it's itty bitty teeny weeny.
You might have to come closer to here.
Okay. So what I do after I've used all this alcohol on it, because alcohol is going to dry out rubber, right? Is I'll literally just dab my fingers in some olive oil and just rub some olive oil on there. There's lots of other different oils that you can use to lubricate, you know, your stuff, but olive oil's in my kitchen and it's already paid for. So, and my husband bought a huge Costco one, so it could take me 10 years to get through it. So just do that. On the inside here also, there's a very large black ring. Now, keep in mind, this is something I've learned from other people. I've never done it myself. But there's black ring in here. And if you pull it out, apparently there's paint can get stuck up under there. That's another process you can clean. 9 years, I've never done it. I tried getting it out one time. It was so hard, I was afraid I was going to ruin it. So I just didn't do it. But yeah, but that's another factor that you can give it a try. All right. So that was the olive oil spray.
Can you spray a line thick to thin?
Yeah.
And can you use a color, you know, you can see.
All right, let's try this. Okay, lefty loosey, righty tighty, right? Just like the regular system, if you do it real close, there's a thin line. Far away, is a wider line. Thin, thick. So you can open this up. When we open this up, you can see a lot of paint can come out. You don't need to open it up that far. And when we do the demo at the end, you'll see that. Yes.
Do you leave the ink in the cartridges and let it dry till the next time, or do you clean it out?
I do. I do. Yeah, you probably, they come with tops. You could take them off and put the tops on. Because they say that you don't have to clean your 0G. I don't agree with that personally. I just like any system, you have to take care of it. I will put them in storage like this, and sediment will build up. So before every job, yeah, I usually will clean it, or if I have a job the following week, I may not have to clean it except the white one because the white builds up. With festivals, I can literally clean it on Thursday night, and I can have a 3, 4, 5 day festival for the rest of the week and not have to clean it again. Sometimes maybe do a quick clean on some of like the white. Every once in a while something will clog up. I don't know why, just because it does. So I'll take the cartridge off, do a quick flush, and it's usually, I can fix it. If worse comes to worse, if I can't fix it, I always have backup cartridges where I can just change it real quick and I don't have to worry about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a demo, a quick eye design, and then when my beautiful model, while she's going to wash it off, I'm going to show you 3 different setups. We'll go through the setups and we can talk about setups. And then she'll come back and I'll do another demo. Okay? That sound good? Let's do this. So we're going to use the CO2. Oh, wait a minute. One thing I did forget. Lauren, hand over here for a moment. Somebody was asking me online about stencil storage. This is my festival storage. And this is all of my StencilEyes. Yeah, I probably have every single one that Don has ever made. I just keep them in alphabetical order because I use the pictures that she has, and they all have the names on it. And I have another one full, just like this, of the Weiser stencils, and they're all in alphabetical order. What I have done is I've actually cut the file in half because I don't like reaching way down here to get my thing. I've cut them in half. I taped it back together and I just put them right in there. So I don't know where I just pulled that. So this is going to go back in wrong. So that's my stencil storage. I have a smaller one for when I go on smaller gigs for an hour or two, but these are for my big ones. Somebody asked me about signage. When I'm just doing some tattoos, I just have, we have a laminator, and I just put this together, laminate it, and I put it on a stand, or I put it on a wall or something, and that's my signage. My festivals are, this is a 5-foot banner that I use, that I put out. The Weiser, on the bottom it has some of the henna stencils. Those are always really popular with the ladies, young and old, especially the teens, the tweens. They're too cool for face painting or something. Okay, now I usually just use the stool. I'm a sitter because I'm 6'4", and even with the tall chair, it's too much bending over and I break my back. So I'm a sitter, and even with the little kids are like, oh, well, there's no back on the chair. If they have a hard time, or if they're so little and I'm nervous about them, I just have mommy and daddy stand right behind them, and they're in the back, and they feel better about having mommy and daddy right next to them anyway. So we're going to do 2 face designs today, and then we're also going to do a Weiser stencil. One of my very, very, very favorite things to do are Simbaru. Excuse my stencils, I haven't cleaned them off recently. The Simbaru, and I will do Simbaru eyes, and I could do these all day long, guys. So what I'm going to do, remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. When you loosen it, the airflow comes out, and then you're going to close it. Right, and then when they're like dark skin kids, we're going to probably go out a little bit further because we want to give it some white so the colors pop, okay? Like African American or the darker Indian kids. So we're going to do pink, right? I'm doing this backwards, guys. It's kind of hard. All right, so we're gonna go out the outer side of the eye and up, okay? Right. I like to fill it up. They're paying good money for this, so we want to make sure that they get their money's worth. We're going to just fill up that whole forehead, right up here, go all around, make sure there's just a little differentiation between the light and the dark. We've got a good base going there. And now we're going to do our favorite spots, right? We're just going to line up the eyebrow with this right here. Turn your head a little bit toward there. Well, okay. We're going to make sure you hold this down and flat against the face. Don't let it lift at all. Okay? Now we got to walk this. Walk it. Walk it so it doesn't. Look how cute is that? So pretty, right? Put a little glitter here, a little glitter here. You are good to go. I sell this for $5 a pop. $5 a pop. 2 eyes for $8. I could do them all day long. Do them in 2 minutes and $8, $10 all day long. This is my festival setup. This is a toolbox, a fat max. And usually I'll open this up, put this out, and I put my paint here, my hand paint. Once people see my airbrush stuff, I do very little of this. I have 2 PVC pipes down here, and I just lay my rack right down in there. I have this little bungee cord right here. I use that, wrap it around here to connect here and connect here for connect it to the Fat Max. And this usually is all my supplies. So here is what it looks like on the job. Any questions, any thoughts? Okay. Now, I just bought the Mini, this Craft and Go Mini. And I have this small table. The rack is set up right there. I can work right out of this. I got my alcohol and everything right in here. I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm so excited because this is going to look nicer. And we all want to look our best, right? I bought this awesome hanging one. I don't think it's for the Mini, but I also have a Craft and Go PlayStation. I think that's going to fit really well in the middle between here. And I think that's going to be fantastic if I do both hand painting and airbrush at the same time. I think that's going to work great for the PlayStation. Any thoughts, any questions about that? Okay, so the third setup, which is what I'm using now. You've all seen these at the office supply store. They're about anywhere from $25 to $35. They're collapsible. They're wheels. We're going to go ahead and pan too. The same rack that I had over here, I put here. I bungeed the cord to the handle. I found this cover on Amazon, and I have all my supplies right there.
Swipe your screen to see them.
Questions? There's always questions with setup. So
where did you get the paint holders?
I made them. The wooden rack, I made it. Let me pull it out. Went to Home Depot.
Will you post the travel airbrush setup when you finish it?
I went to Home Depot. I bought this. I got them cut it down. I think I made 2 of these for like $36. Has little L brackets under here. I just put them on there. And I spray painted it black. Cost me about $36 for 2 of them. I was pretty proud of myself too.
So you built the rack yourself?
Yep. So we did the eye. Now we're going to do the raptor. You guys, I also want to tell you something. I should have did this with the leopard eye, Simbaroo, I forgot. Do not forget about these little quick easies that Donna has. They're fantastic. These eyelashes, they are like the icing on the cake. They're like the flour on top of the cake or the kale on top of the cake. They are so cute and they just are like that little touch of extra. I just freaking love them. But this is great. I mean, you can see here, the little girl on top, the mermaid, is this quick, easy mermaid scale. That zipper, this is kind of one of my trademarks, is a half skull with the zipper down the middle of the face, and people love it. And I get $10 for that all day long. And I got them all day long. So don't forget about these things, are awesome. They're fantastic, I love them. Okay, so we're gonna do the raptor now. Lisa's gonna come back. What color raptor should we do? You want to do blue or green?
Where's the eye stencil from?
These are all StencilEyes from ProAiir. All these are...
Oh, the eye stencil?
Yep. That's Simbaroo from StencilEyes. These quick easies are from StencilEyes. I'm a huge proponent of Donna's stuff. I mean, she's made me a lot of money. Between her paint and her stencils, these StencilEyes. Ask my husband. I've been using them since the very, very beginning. I probably had this raptor. When did you start, Donna? These are one of the first ones in what, 2011, 2012? Yeah. And it's the same stencil. I keep cleaning it and using it. Only thing is I finally broke this thing, but it still works.
Wendy Olson wants to know, are you a super fan of the 0G, or do you also like to keep gravity feed Iwata traditional gun for finer work, customizing? What's your favorite glitter to use also?
I love my 0G. It's made me lots and lots and lots of money. It's easy to troubleshoot. I can unpack and pack within 10 to 15 minutes at most. I could probably set up and tear down in 10 minutes. I started off with Iwata, or no, actually it was Pache. I struggled for a year until I got the 0G. I own 2 Iwatas now and 11 Paches. I don't touch them. And I'm trying to learn how to use them because I want to do t-shirts with them. But actually, I'm going to try to do some t-shirts with this. I heard about somebody that has done them in the past with this. Maybe not as much, but like I said, with anything, if you practice enough, you probably could do it. But no, I 99.9% of the time I'm using my 0G. I use the other for sometimes the tattoo black when I'm doing those tattoos, because I can get a little more detail in there, or the glitter, the metallic paints. If it uses glitter, I'll use it for that because that clogs up the 0G. So a lot of times what I will do is I will have somebody in line, like mom and dad or big sister or brother, hold the stencil on the kid. I have no qualms about asking people for help. You're going to have to help me. So I usually use a lighter color over the eyes, just to give it some dimension and color, and I'm coloring my, and then I'll start holding it down. Lisa's used to this. Most kids are not, I'm going to prick this one. Most kids are not as easy. Some of them are a little more twitchy.
Should I giggle?
No. I'm out of practice. There we go.
I got my face shield
See,
on.
I just pricked that one and now it's working much better. Okay, so now I'm going to usually when somebody's holding the stencil, they're holding a kid's face too. So we're gonna just go all the way around. And we're just kind of blending those two colors. Where's my white? Am I gonna do my white? Oh, son of a bugger. Okay, we're gonna do black horns today.
You knew I was the devil anyway.
We're gonna do black horns. There we go. My black usually comes pouring out. We're gonna hold it tight. All right, now what's awesome about this is Donna thinks of everything, and she has the second piece here. Are you able to lean forward just a touch? We're gonna just put this over it. Make sure that thing is flat against her face, otherwise the makeup will get up underneath and then you won't have crisp lines. Like that. So I usually just rim this a little bit. All right, go ahead and lift it off. And look how cute is she. See, but when you have the extra colors in there, it just gives it a little more dimension and a little more pop. I have heard so many times people are like, you can't do tattoos, you can't do the Wiser stencils without with the 0G. And I say poppycock to that. So we're gonna do a color one. I'm gonna turn you around up here. Can you be able to see that? We're gonna do it right here on our shoulder since it's a nice big flat surface. We're gonna do some colors. I'm not gonna be able to put the white down first, but here's gonna pop some colors in here. I'm using, that's yellow. I use the bionic yellow, the bionic colors. I don't know what it's, because they're really opaque and they're really pop, and you put the white underneath it, it looks awesome. I forget, this is the neon pink, which is another one of my favorites.
Wendy has a question, by the way. She says, how can children clean their face after?
Well, turpentine always does the job.
Sandpaper?
Most popular way is soap and water. This is ProAiir Hybrid. Use the soap first, rub in the soft soap, rub it in really good, and then add water. Comes right off. Okay, so we're gonna let's do a little black beak. Are we able to see what we're doing here? Okay, so we got that. Now we're going in with the detail. Hold that. This is why I get messy all the time, because I'm painting my fingers too. And I'm doing this fast, so it might usually take a little more time. But
Someone asks, what's the youngest you would do a kid's face?
Face? Whoever can handle it. If they're in diapers, I'm typically not going to do it, you know. But if a kid really wants it, I'm telling you, some of these little kids are better than the big kids.
What stencil are you using for the hummingbird shape? June wants to know.
It's the Freebird. It's from the Freebird collection of the Wiser stencils. And then we can just go back and, you know, do some background splashes. Put some colors in there. Look how easy that was, guys. Whoop-a-doo. You know, just throw some of that background stuff on there and have some fun. Just have fun with it like you do with the Wiser stencils. But look how cute that is. See, you can do anything you want with it. Questions?
Let me just take a look here. Tattoo Pro Series stencils. Look.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to look and see if there's any other questions.
Guys, thank you so much for coming out today. I'm going to just pick up this little piece here. Thanks so much for coming out today. From me and Lisa and Lauren behind the camera. And thanks again, Donna, for having us. You guys also want to be sure to check out Dutch is tomorrow. Bautista Thursday, Alex Hansen. I am so blessed to be amongst such huge names in the industry. And I just want to thank everybody. But you guys make sure, this is a fantastic lineup this week with ProAiir and Dutch and Bautista and Alex Hansen all in the same week for free. Also keep in mind, a huge thank you to ProAiir for inspiring Donna. She is going to be setting up a virtual tip jar for all the instructors. This is not obligatory, guys. This is just a little thank you. I mean, I'm sure you guys are feeling it just like I literally had 3 months of work wiped out. I've gotten 0. So any little penny helps. But virtual tip jar she's going to be having available shortly for the past and future instructors for ProAiir University. And we just want to thank ProAiir for an awesome idea.
Question, how much do you charge for a Wizen quick stencil?
For a Wiser
quick stencil.
Wisers I'll start something like this, like $10. And I go up. My StencilEyes, I go 5, 8, and 12.
How do you keep little bits together with Wiser stencil?
I personally, in my file, I have these little paper, what do they call these things?
Sleep protectors.
Yes, sleep protectors. I have a copy of the thing in there, and I personally just put them in here. I know some people are more organized than I am, and they have pockets and things, but for me this works. I just put it like this right in my folder, and that's how I keep them.
I was happy to see you maneuver it with one hand. Was wondering how to hold it. Now I need to practice. Thank you so much.
You're very
That's
welcome.
from Carol Cummings, Oregon.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming out, Carol. Thanks for taking time out of your day, guys. Again, don't forget to catch up with Dutch, Bautista, and Alex Hansen this week.
Who's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Dutch.
Okay, great.
And mwah, mwah. Thank you.